you going, guys? Just wanted to make a video on our DAB modules because we get a lot of questions about these and they kind of fall under the lines of what is it, why would you want it, and then how do you install it. So a lot of people with our head units find, especially if they have modern cars in the first place, that they don't have DAB built in. The reason for this is because a lot of the new cars that have their own built-in DAB have their own DAB antennas, and these have all different kinds of plugs that our head units just do not have the plugs to transfer over. So we find if you want to have your own built-in DAB, we've got to install our own module here. So this is what it looks like. It's fairly self-explanatory. I'll just open up the package here. So this piece here, between these is the peel-off sticky antenna. It goes on the windscreen. We'll show you how to put that on later. And then the coiled up wire, which has the antenna plug. The antenna plug then goes into our little DAB Plus box. So in this side, that's where it goes in. And then the other side, we just have a USB type connection, which goes into the USB plugs on a unit. So what does DAB stand for? It's digital audio broadcasting. And it's basically just a modern version of radio. So it doesn't use an analog signal like FM or AM. It uses digital. So you get higher quality, less noise, and more stations. So it only really works in metro areas because the signal comes off of building towers and stuff like that. So if you're more rural, it's not going to work. But for a lot of people, they like the clearer sound, the more options, and just the steady stream of sound. So that's kind of the reason why you might want it. Obviously there are, especially for users with our unit, there are options such as radio app, and listener and all that kind of thing. So those work through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and you can get DAB stations on those. But some people just don't like the fact that it's not built into the core car. So it's basically you have to have your phone connected up. It's using your phone's data and it's based on your phone's reception. So some people would prefer to just get in a built module, which is going to work no matter what and get slightly better reception as well because it's got an antenna on the windscreen. So we'll go ahead and show you how to put it in and just showcase how ours work with our unit. Alright guys, so in the car now, a bit of backstory. This is my parents' car and I put a Vhedia unit in it not too long ago and they liked everything about it, but they just found that the DAB radio was something that they used every single day with the factory unit. As you can see, a couple factory plugs here. This white or blue one would be the DAB. And we just don't have a plug, unfortunately, to transfer it across to be usable with the unit. So that's when, we decided we would just put in one of our DAB radio modules, which I initially avoided because I didn't want to go and wire it through, but I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty consistent car to car, strangely. What you need to do is sort of get it into this space down here. I'll just move the camera a bit. This space down here, sort of behind the glove box, you can drop it out a bit further. There's just sort of a clip on either side. You get the USB cable down there, and then there's usually a side panel just over here on most cars that you can pop off as well. And then you can also take off the A pillar. And then that's how I'm going to get the cable from this point here behind the unit, down under here, up through the side, and then up to the actual antenna itself. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. First of all, I need to wire in some extra USB cables. In the unit we have 3 USB cables total. So this white one here has the microphone and it also has 2 USB cables. I didn't add this initially because this car has the one USB port down at the bottom, which I could use our single USB cable, this pink one, just to get it up to. And then we had already some extra charging ones, so I didn't bother. But now I need to do it to add accessories, so that's what I'm going to do. I've already hooked it up to our wire puller, and I've found a route to go from under here up to the head unit. So just going to pull this through now. Might be a bit tight back there. We'll see what we're working with. Just want to be careful, don't want to pull it too hard or anything. There we go. Alrighty, so I've got these cables down here, and I might just leave one there as an extra charging cable in the glove box, because why not? And I'll add this to the rest of my accessory cables. So I've got this one here, and usually I like to tape all these together, but I'll leave that for now. So USB cable down here, either one doesn't really matter. I'll grab my module here, and this little USB cable adapter. So I'll plug it into this one, and when I stop recording, I'll actually add some tape around this just to make sure it's not going to come undone at any point. And then I'll plug in the module. So there we go. That's this side of it done. So I'll find a spot. There actually seems to be quite a bit of space back there. There's like a little gap which I can just shove this back behind. Worst case, for some of you, you might just want to leave it in your glove box. That way, if it started playing up in the future, you have easy access to the connections. But for me, I'm just going to shove it where I'll never have to look at it again. And then, yeah, I'll actually go grab a cleaning cloth, because you kind of want to clean the spot that you want to put the antenna before you put it there. But yeah, I'll attach that on, and then we'll have a look at the next step. Alrighty, so just going to give that a little wipe and grab my antenna. If you've noticed a change in the audio quality, I have just put on a microphone, so sorry about that. Just go ahead and cut the tape off this. Just watching the antenna itself, because it is pretty fragile. There we go, that's just popped out. So, looking at the antenna itself, you've got this little solid bit, which will go on the windscreen. You've got this bit here, which has a little peel, and that's like a sticky copper bit, which you basically want to contact metal, so that's why it goes up next to the A-pillar, because you can stick it on this part of the metal here, and just sort of boosts the signal a bit. And then you've got the clear bit, which is just going to come off with the plastic peel. So you just want to peel this whole thing along, find your spot that you've just cleaned, and you just want to stick it up there. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to start with the plastic part, just like so. And then find my spot. Use the solid bit first, just here, and then sort of just perfect. All right. Now what I've got here, so keeping in mind this part obviously while you're sticking on the rest of it, how it's going to line up with the metal, that's just going to stick on there nice and easy. So I'll go ahead, and you want to leave a little bit of slack as well, because you're going to be putting our A-pillar back on there, and it's going to be pressed against it, so you don't want it to just be pulling it away. So yeah, try and get it pretty close there. Try and turn this camera a little bit more. There we go, so I've got my copper bit here. I'm just going to move this out the way. And stick that onto the metal bit there. Doesn't have to be super perfect, it's not extremely vital, but there we go. So next what I have to do is route this cable down through the side into there. And the only real important thing here you want to worry about is if you've got an airbag there, you don't want this to be dangling in front of the airbag at all. So what I would do, most cars will have some cables running through here already. Just grab some zip ties and make sure it's extra secure along those, just so that you're not going to have any issues if your airbags decide to go off in the future. So yeah, I'll go ahead, I'll grab some some zip ties, and I will show you what I've done. Alrighty, so here's what it looks like. Got it on there, and I've just left from this first zip tie here, I've just made sure that I've left kind of just enough slack that this can sit there comfortably and go in at a right angle. And I've just done a couple more zip ties. You probably don't need to do as many as me, but I'm not in that much of a rush for my inheritance, so I thought safety first. Now, out here, I've got the extra cable that I've just dropped through the bottom there, and it's just come out this side, so that basically needs to loop in back behind so I can meet the box that I have plugged in. So that's going to be a pretty simple one, just need to push it in there, but that will be easier two-handed when I've got one to meet it, so I'll just quickly mount the camera up again. Alright, there we go, camera's mounted, so here's the cable. Obviously this one's dropped all the way down here, but if you can see better now, let me get this out of the way. If you can see better now, I intend to keep it back sort of in this area behind here. So that's where I want to get this one, just behind here. So I'll just kind of push it through till I can feel it with my hand. And there we go, there's the cable. And that's all the way through. So I could put this stuff back on now. I'll do that at the end though. And here we are. So that'll be plugged in. And now all that's left to do is kind of just tie this stuff up and hide it. And then I can go plug everything back in and close it up and test it. So Yeah, I'll bundle these up a little bit, tape it all and shove it back there, and I'll show you the next step. Right, here we go. So there's our connection there. Here's our box, which I've just grabbed all the excess and taped it all into a big ball of ugly, which I can drop back where I never have to look at it again. There we go. So that's down there. This cable's just behind there. And I'll keep this other one here, because why not? And I'll go ahead and close the glove box again. I need to grab these pieces for it, but you get the idea. So that's all done on that side. And now it should be all the way through to our white plug here, which is our USB one. So as soon as we hook it up to the head unit, we should be getting DAB connection. So I'll cut to once I've got the head unit all back and plugged in. All right guys, so I've closed it all up and I've got the unit here now, just the way it was before. And I've moved the DAB Plus app onto the unit, onto the main 9 apps that you've got here. If it's not there for you, you might find it in the app library here. So what I found, I was just testing it out, is there's actually an app that I like a bit better, and I'll show you why. If I go into DAB, I tap a station, it actually takes like a second to load up, as you can see the signal, and it makes that noise, which is not amazing. So basically, it takes a second to connect. The connection is completely perfect afterwards. There's no jittering or static noise or anything like that. But if you're someone that likes to constantly flick through a bunch of stations with steering wheel controls like this, you'll find it won't really play anything for a little bit until you, wait for it for a second. So I'll just stop on one here, 6PR Perth, for example. And there you go, that's how long it took to sort of get up to speed. So again, it sounds fine, there's nothing wrong with it, and it'll play in the background here. But another drawback I found with this app compared to the one I'm about to show you is if I'm in CarPlay, which a lot of you will be most of the time, and I skip to the next station, there's no indicator on the screen whatsoever, so I don't know what station I'm on now until it starts playing something, or even then you can't really guess. So what I found is there's this app called DAB-Z, just this one here, and I just find it's better because it does seem to go through the stations a bit quicker, and there's less of that weird noise when you switch station as well. But the main thing is the slight delay doesn't matter as much, because when I'm in CarPlay and I'm switching through apps with this, it tells me immediately what station I'm on. So as you can see, I don't know if that's close enough to tell, but as I'm skipping through of my steering wheel controls, it's telling me straight away what station I'm on. So if need be, if I just go to this station, I like the station, give it a sec, and then I've got sound. So I know immediately what station I'm on, and there's no major drawback from switching between stations. So that's what I recommend. If you do get this DAB module from us, connect to the internet, so settings, network and internet, connect to your home Wi-Fi. I'd go on our office one, but go on the Google Play Store if you haven't already, log in with your Google account and just search up DAB-Z and get that installed. And I'm going to move that onto the home screen now. So I'll just do a long press on this, hit the little delete button, and just scroll down until I find, there's my new one, DAB-Z. So I've got that there now. And yeah, I just find that a lot better. Now the alternative, which I also want to show, to getting this DAB module in the first place at all, is in phone links. This is Apple CarPlay. I've got radio apps. So if I go to these apps here, go to the right, there's radio app, and that's just something I've installed on my phone. So it's basically just digital radio, but instead of using that antenna at the top, it uses your phone's connection to cell towers. So if I open this up, as you can see, all the same stations here. So if I go on Mix 94.5, probably take a sec to connect. And here we go. And the benefit to this is it shows up in CarPlay, so it's right there. And skipping through the stations, they all just show, and it even says what it's playing. It's actually skipping through the DAB app in the background because I got that open. But yeah, only downside to that, if you're not on unlimited data, you're obviously going to be spending quite a bit of your data. And also it's just going to have a less stable connection, I would say. And yeah, you do need to rely on your phone being connected to the unit. So Yeah, obviously make the decision yourself. Those are the options. We just wanted to make this video to sort of lay them out for you. But yeah, that's how you set up the DAB, that's how you use it, and why you may or may not want it. So thanks for watching. Let us know if you have any questions. We've got a lot of support lines to reach out to. We've got our phones, emails, and our live chat on our website. So we're happy to help. Cheers.